For me, as a teacher, Scratch is probably one of the best ways to teach programming I've ever come across. It's immediately accessible. It's bright, it's eye-catching, the kids love it, and there's no possibility of making syntax errors, for example. So you can get straight in there, you can create, you can get feedback straight away. And I've never seen a kid who didn't see that interface and just think, I can make stuff with Scratch. So it's such a special thing for me as an educator. I also like using it myself, as does my son. So yeah, it's a fantastic thing. But I think to allow people to tinker and to create and to mess about. So we made the Raspberry Pi to help people get into programming and computing, and I think Scratch has got that same ideal, this educational ideal, to allow people access, to allow them to get into it straight away. Again, no messing about with typing or errors. You can start making stuff, and the Raspberry Pi works really well with that. So I just ran a workshop with using Scratch to control the input-output pins of the Raspberry Pi, and it was just fantastic. We had brilliant fun, and the stuff that we made in about half an hour were just fantastic. They just pair up perfectly for creation and for messing about and experimentation. Just fantastic. First and foremost, we're an educational charity, so we've really got that focus. We want to support teachers, we want to support educational professionals who want to teach and use the Raspberry Pi for teaching and learning. We want to support individuals. And the other thing is our community. We've got a massive community with vast experience. If you have any troubles, if you want to make something, if you want to do something, come onto the forums, ask a question, and they'll be straight in there giving you help, giving you code, giving you examples, actually coming along to meet you to create things. So the community for us is huge. So the community plus our educational values, I think that's what makes us special. Not just the hardware, you know, we make a fantastic piece of kit, but I think the community and the education really summed us up. So it's been interesting this week because we're at a Scratch conference and people are saying, well, can we do this with it and can we do this with it? I just back to this workshop I've just run. I would love to see inbuilt support for the Raspberry Pi, for example. At the moment we have to run an extra little script to make that happen if we want to communicate to the outside world. So that's just a real selfish personal thing. I would like to see that. But I think I think it's hard to improve. They've got a fantastic community, they've got a fantastic product, and you just see when people start creating things in sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that actually I think it's quite tricky to say how can we move this forward, which is a kind of great place to be. So I'm not sure, it's quite a tricky question for me. I love it as it is. Scratch conference for me has just been fantastic. It's the first time I've been to a Scratch conference, and of course the location's fabulous, but really beyond that, the people here are great. The people from all over the world travelled much further than I have, and just to talk to people, to educators using Scratch, to see stuff that's happening, to meet people like Mitch Resnick, who's actually involved in the creation of the thing. It's just been a brilliant time, and as I said, I've just run a workshop where I've just seen what Scratch can do, and people are using this for genuinely creative things, and actually going back out into classrooms and back out into their environment and using Scratch to teach. So the conference has been fantastic. It's been a real eye-opener just to see so many people enjoying and using Scratch. It's been really great. So thanks for having me.